All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. So the Pittsburgh Steelers are officially in the NFL playoffs. They're going to be hitting the road, taking on a weird team in the Buffalo Bills. Mason Rudolph, 3 straight victories, 2 of those back-to-back 30-point games. Feels like something we haven't seen in quite some time with this Pittsburgh Steelers offense. And they followed it up in a slippery, sloppy game. The dude threw 2 incompletions. And yeah, they're in the playoffs, and they have as good of a chance as everybody else. All I'm seeing today, the day after, the Week 18 Sunday, is why Pittsburgh is about to get just absolutely blown away. Now we're going to wait for TJ Watt's injury update. Doesn't really look like he's going to be playing. And while I will admit that's a huge, unfortunate loss, let's not act like the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't the 6th best defense in the National Football League. And let's also not act like they're pretty much, the way they're playing right now is pretty much perfect for playoff football. They are not turning the ball over. They are running the ball unbelievably well, and their defense is the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Like, this is actually almost a perfect storm. Josh Allen loves his turnovers. He loves throwing interceptions, and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense loves takeaways. They love forcing turnovers. They love getting interceptions. They love getting sacks. Like, they've won football games for Pittsburgh earlier on in the season. I don't think people should be writing off this Pittsburgh Steelers team this early. So that's what we're going to be talking about in tonight's video. But before we do, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Steelers fans, I post at least one Steelers video every single week. So if we could try to get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So all things considered, you fired Matt Canada midway through the season. Kenny Pickett was not explosive at all. He ends up getting injured. They go through Trubisky, and they stumble upon Mason Rudolph, and he has not lost a game. And more importantly, he has not thrown an interception. Now, I don't even really want to look at turnovers in that Baltimore Ravens game because it was slippy. It was sloppy. You can't turn the ball over in the playoffs. If you do, the other team's going to take advantage of it. But my favorite thing about Mason Rudolph is he does not play afraid. And he is not throwing interceptions. But my favorite part about the Pittsburgh Steelers offense heading into the playoffs is simply the rushing attack. They're putting up almost 120 rushing yards per game. Since Matt Canada was let go, they're a top 5 rushing offense in the league. And I have Najee Harris, who is the only Pittsburgh Steeler ever to have 3 straight 1,000-yard rushing seasons in his first 3 years of his career. Najee Harris looks really good right now. And my Pittsburgh Steelers fans obviously know this. Smash Mouth football, he is the perfect running back to have for this type of atmosphere. And he's followed up by Jaylen Warren, who's averaging 5.3 yards per carry. At the end of the day, the Pittsburgh Steelers offense right now is simply executing. They're just executing at a very high level. And the Buffalo Bills, I know they've won 5 straight football games, but they were 6-6 a couple of weeks ago. A month and a half ago, they were 6-6 on the outside looking in here. My point is, Pittsburgh's got a shot. Mason Rudolph, and here's the thing, everybody was critiquing you got a bunch of rivalry fans. In my Steelers comments, a lot of people were nitpicking the Baltimore Ravens victory just simply because Lamar Jackson didn't play. I don't know what's so crazy. Mason Rudolph's the 3rd string quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's a 3rd string quarterback. So that argument doesn't even do anything for me. And the Baltimore Ravens defense is still the Baltimore Ravens defense. Mason Rudolph, 18 of 20, 152 yards, a touchdown. If you watched the game and you saw the inclement weather, well, that stat makes sense. The Pittsburgh Steelers rushing attack, 39 rushes, 155 yards, and a touchdown. Now, the TJ Watt injury certainly sucks. And I would actually feel relatively confident about an upset, a lot more confident than I do already about a possible upset in Buffalo if TJ Watt, the best player on the Steelers roster, was playing this upcoming weekend. Technically not ruled out. It definitely does suck, but this happens. And this happens, and if you want to win a Super Bowl, if you want to make a deep playoff run, dudes got to step up. And dudes have been stepping up. And that's why I want to take a look at my rookies. And I want to start it off with my man, Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Jr.'s allowed completion percentage is 45%. 5.3%, which is the best among 83 NFL cornerbacks this season who played at least 360 snaps in coverage. His 24 receptions allowed is the lowest among all cornerbacks who were targeted at least 50 times. Nick Herbig's done a phenomenal job all season, especially as of late, along with Keanu Benton. Minkah Fitzpatrick's going to be coming back. But my point with this young rookies on the defensive side is the regular season's over. You're not rookies anymore. So dudes need to step up in general because it's playoff football. But in the absence of TJ Watt, dudes especially need to step up here. But guys have been doing this in wake of injuries all freaking season. Now, I'm looking at guys like Eric Rowe. I'm looking at guys like Miles Jack. Miles Jack picked up recently, man. This team was decimated at linebacker a couple of weeks ago. They're still not fully healed at linebacker. But guys, I'm not losing hope like every non-Steelers fan in NFL media is just because of the TJ Watt injury. Yes, it's a huge freaking deal, but these guys are really making plays, man. Mark Robinson, a sack, forced fumble this past weekend against Baltimore. I still have Cameron Hayward, do I not? I still do. Minkah Fitzpatrick comes back. It's huge, man. So I'm not losing faith just because of TJ Watt's injury, just because Mason Rudolph's a third-string quarterback. In fact, if anything, I think it just adds to the story. I think it adds to more reason why Pittsburgh can upset the Buffalo Bills. I don't feel all that confident with Buffalo in general, but I just want to say I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers' future is very bright. Now, today we've been seeing weird reports about Mike Tomlin potentially stepping away. I don't think that would ever happen. I think he'd either just genuinely leave Pittsburgh. I don't think he's going to be leaving Pittsburgh. But at the end of the day, man, the Pittsburgh Steelers rookie draft class, specifically on the defensive side, they hit a home run. They smashed it out of the park. So it's not just, playoff win or bust. The Pittsburgh Steelers' future, to me, is still very bright. I don't even want to comment on Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett for next season because we'll deal with that in due time. The Pittsburgh Steelers, like a couple of days ago, most people outside of my Steelers fans did not have this team making the playoffs. Shout out the Tennessee Titans. As we end this video, shout out to the Tennessee Titans for taking down the Jacksonville Jaguars and getting this Pittsburgh Steelers team into the playoffs. But we got to give credit where credit is due. They took down Cincinnati, Seattle, and Baltimore to finish off the season with their third-string quarterback. You have as good of a chance as anybody, even though the odds are not in your favor. You do not ever want to underestimate your opponent, and I guarantee you Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, and the Buffalo Bills are not underestimating this Pittsburgh Steelers team, all right? Against all odds, I think the upset is there. I know my Steelers fans agree with that. That's it for today. Just a little bit of a Steelers hype video because you guys are in the playoffs. I wanted to just hop behind the mic. We're going to continue to cover this team. Get ready for this playoff matchup as the week goes by. So hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys haven't already. But Steelers fans especially, give me a score prediction for upcoming Sunday. Give me a confidence rating about a potential upset. Peace.